What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of NHBWR, No Holds Barred Wrestling Radio. This is our Payback review. I'm your host, Kyle. I got my co-host, Phil.
Hello.
Match technician, Brandon, with me. Let's jump right into it with the first match. We're not going to talk about the kickoff match because we couldn't see it because it's on the network, and us in Canada still can't get the network.
And we don't really care anyway.
Yeah, who gives a shit about that match? Anyways, match number one, we had Sheamus against Cesaro, the U.S. title match. The match I was looking forward to because I predicted Cesaro to be the new U.S. champion. It was a pretty good match. Brandon, what did you get into that match?
It was a very physical back-and-forth match to start. You knew with these two guys, the brawlers, it was going to be, one of those brutal matches. Sheamus hits his, not 10, 20 beats of the Bowery.
20?
Yep. And then Sheamus goes for the battering ram and gets nailed with the European uppercut, knocking Sheamus outside of the ring. Cesaro did a superplex off top rope for near fall. Cesaro hits a ton of uppercuts relentlessly for a bunch of near falls in the match. Then the neutralizer was countered into a white noise for a near fall. Sheamus gets the cloverleaf locked in. Cesaro powers to the ropes for the break. And then Cesaro does a swing for a 21 count. I counted 21 times.
Wow.
And then he goes to kind of put Sheamus away. And all of a sudden, Sheamus does a small package roll-up and gets the win off of this.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible for a face to get a roll-up for a victory for a title retain. I was expecting maybe just a bro kick out of nowhere, something to end the match well. But other than that, it's a pretty good match. I found Sheamus getting buried a lot in this match. He was very, I don't know, I guess he would come back after Cesaro buried him a little bit, and then he just wins via roll-up, kind of defeats the purpose of having a face that's more of like a heel ending.
Yeah, but like I predicted, so they weren't going to let Cesaro lose clean.
Yeah, that's true.
They couldn't kill his momentum, so having him lose by roll-up kind of made sense to me.
I just think it's a terrible way to end the match. Other than that, the crowd was very pro-Cesaro, and which was funny because they kind of booed Sheamus a little bit too. But other than that, I thought it was a pretty okay match. I don't know if you...
Yeah, I mean, Cesaro, he's a crowd favorite, and Sheamus is also, he's also a crowd favorite, but Cesaro's just getting all that love, so they're booing Sheamus. I'm loving... I was a fan of the surprise, roll-up finish. I liked it, and I'm also a fan of Sheamus using the cloverleaf again. We've seen him do it before. I wish he'd use it more often. I mean, Sheamus is he's got 5-6 different signature moves and finishers, and I wish he would use the cloverleaf more often. Plus, it makes sense because of his Irish background.
Yeah. Going into match number 2, which was a surprise match, Cody Rhodes and Goldust against Ryback. So
the big guy,
our boys Ryback. So I guess this was just a match filler because of such a weak card. Was there anything good in this match, Brandon?
Yeah, it was pretty decent. Cody Rhodes got in the match, did his inverted atomic drop, and then his vintage Goldust uppercut. And then the Rhodes brothers were tagging in and out, looking like a good tag team at the beginning. Ryback still took over and started to kind of just pummel Goldust, and he couldn't make a tag. Goldust hits a backwards elbow off the second rope, and that takes Axel out. He makes a tag to Cody, and then he hits a missile drop kick, gets all the momentum, hits a moonsault to both Ryback and Curtis Axel off top rope, and then he hits the crossroads, which we haven't seen in a while, to Ryback, and then Axel breaks that up. Goldust and Axel kind of spill out to the side of the ring. Cody Rhodes tries to go for the disaster kick, but Ryback catches him in midair and gets the shell shock for the win.
Yep. It was an okay, quick match. I thought it was very predictable. I did predict Ryback to give the shell shock to Cody Rhodes for the win. We did see after Cody Rhodes mentioning to Goldust that you need a better tag team partner, whether or not this is the beginning of their split. We've been kind of predicting this for a couple months now. This looks like it will be, but other than that, it's just a quick filler match. Nothing really else to talk about it. Moving on to match number 3, we actually have the carded match, Rusev against Big E, which I was looking forward to. Two big guys going at it. Didn't end up being as long of a match as I thought it was. Did you get anything out of this match, Brandon?
There were few spots. Big E did kind of a running spear to Rusev outside the ring, and they both hit the floor pretty hard there. Crowd seemed to be into that. Then Big E's going for his kind of big splash. He comes back from the ropes, and Rusev just out of nowhere just hits his giant jump kick right in the head of Big E.
That was a really crazy super kick. I remember, Phil watching that, seeing how devastating that super kick was, and then replaying it. He actually caught Big E off guard there pretty bad.
It looked like it would have hurt anybody, and then he just does the accolade for the win.
Yeah, Big E getting buried pretty bad there. I was thinking this match was probably going to be longer than that, but that was okay for a two big guy competitor match. On to match number 4, which we can't really call a match. It was supposed to be Bo Dallas. Oh my god, I'm still not into this character, guys. Bo Dallas is I don't believe right now.
Yeah, this was really weird. Basically, Kofi Kingston comes out. It's like, oh, another surprise match. And then Bo Dallas comes out. And then Kane comes out. Kane tombstones Kofi Kingston, and the bell rings. The bell rings. So it's like, what, did a match just start? Is this a triple threat? Is this one-on-one?
Yeah.
And then Kane activates his pyro at the ring post. He leaves. Bo Dallas, he's like standing outside the ring. He seems pretty scared, but then he comes back in the ring and he tells Kofi Kingston to Bo leave, and then he just randomly leaves. I don't know. Bo Dallas, I'm a fan of what he's doing right now. He kind of antagonized the crowd tonight by saying, oh, even though your Blackhawks are going to lose tonight, Chicago, you should still Bo leave. Which they did. The Blackhawks ended up losing, by the way.
Not into it. I'm hating that they're bringing up these NXT talented wrestlers and they're not using their talents to their full potential. It's really annoying me right now. I really hope WWE changes that. But
Kyle, you just gotta start Bo leaving, man. That's it.
I'm not believing. I hope he Bo leaves soon.
You're an unbeliever.
I'm an unbeliever.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. Anyways, going to the next match, we have Bad News Barrett, or BNB, against RVD for the Intercontinental title. This looked like a pretty good match, I thought. It's what we predicted. Barrett does pick up the victory. Brandon, what'd you get out of this match?
RVD did like a spinning leg drop from the ring apron to Barrett, who was set up on the barricade, and then big ECW chance after that.
Huge ECW chance after that.
Yep. Then RVD hits the Rolling Thunder, goes to the top rope for a frog splash, and then misses, and Barrett goes for the bullhammer. And then RVD counters it into a roll-up for near fall, which I thought was pretty cool.
It was an interesting roll-up. He uses both his legs to roll the guy up, and basically, pretty sure we've seen this from RVD in the past. So it's sort of a vintage RVD roll-up.
Yep. And then the ending of the match was RVD went for a split-legged moonsault. Barrett got the knees up, and then just hit the bullhammer for the win.
Pretty decent match, I thought, for the Intercontinental title. I'm glad to see both minor titles. Let's say it again. Both minor titles being defended at the pay-per-view, which is pretty good. I thought this was an interesting match. RVD did put up a good fight against Bad News Barrett, but he got some bad news. He did retain the title. After that, we have the Daniel Bryan segment, whether or not he was going to say yes to give up the titles or no to keep the titles. And if he said no, Brie Bella would have gotten fired. So this segment was interesting. Stephanie McMahon coming out, and they're not wasting any time. Daniel Bryan coming out after. And basically, just chirping back and forth, and we had some huge CM Punk chants. And then Stephanie McMahon playing to those CM Punk chants, saying, these fans need to quit just like CM Punk did. And wow, what a shot at CM Punk that was by Stephanie McMahon.
That was a good ad-lib by Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, and then Daniel Bryan's trying to find the words to call what Stephanie McMahon is, and then Brie Bella takes the mic and says, clearly, a bitch, which Stephanie McMahon is a bitch. And then before Stephanie McMahon has a chance to fire Brie Bella does end up quitting, which I don't think a lot of us seen that coming. It was a possibility of it happening, but I didn't really see that coming. Brie Bella quitting like that. And
I thought that she would allow herself to get fired. I didn't think she would quit. I also thought that Daniel Bryan would keep his belts, and I guess it just turned out that way. But big decision, big segment announced for a pay-per-view. It's pretty rare. We never see that. But yeah, good segment.
Yep. Going into the next match is the last man standing match. Our boy Juan Gaina against Bray Wyatt. Of course, the Usos, sorry about that. The Eric Rowan and Luke Harper coming out to ringside, and the Usos coming out too in defense of John Cena. But this match was pretty good. Brandon, what'd you get out of this match?
Cena hit a leg drop from the top rope for a 6 count. Then Bray Wyatt brought in a steel chair, started hitting Cena with the chair shots to the stomach and back. Still no head shots, though. Wish they would bring those back, but we're in the PG era.
There was a headshot with the steps, which is, I don't understand why they can do the headshot with the steps and then not the chair.
Yeah.
I'm not really too sure how that can...
And then Cena brings a table into the ring, and then Bray Wyatt ends up suplexing John Cena through the table. Then Bray Wyatt brings in the steel steps, like you said, and then he starts hitting John Cena in the head with it. Bray Wyatt stumbled out of the ring, and then John Cena legit threw the steps at him, which looked like it hurt. He whipped them at him.
He definitely caught those stairs with his head.
Yeah. And then Bray Wyatt, they spill up to the outside. Bray Wyatt hits his sister Abigail to Cena outside the ring off the barricade. And then Jimmy Uso put Eric Rowan through a table that was set up on the barricade with the Rikishi butt slam kind of thing. And then Luke Harper sets up 2 tables outside the ring and superplexes Jey Uso from the top rope through the tables.
That was insane. This thing looked like it freaking hurt. Remember me and Phil going crazy after seeing this. Luke Harper just superplexing. It was Jimmy or Jay. One of them. They both looked the same. One of them over that top rope and then into the freaking tables. Holy crap. This was a good spot. A lot of holy shit chants after.
Mm-hmm.
But that was an interesting spot.
And then to end the match, Bray Wyatt threw John Cena into the pyrotech area, and then John Cena FU'd Bray Wyatt through a big black box that was in there.
Yeah, sort of like a coffin, I guess.
The Undertaker's coffin.
Yeah.
And then John Cena pushed another giant box over top of Bray Wyatt and stood on top of it for the 10 count and the win.
Yep. John Cena finally overcoming the Wyatts and pulling up a victory. We're hoping this is the ending chapter in this feud. Hopefully Bray Wyatt goes away for a while and they bring him back as a face. And John Cena starts a new feud. We'll have to see tomorrow on Raw. But anyways, good match out of John Cena and Wyatt. I really enjoyed watching this match. A lot of good spots. But yeah, good on John Cena's part to pick up the victory. I predicted John Cena. I think we all did here.
I was 0 for 3 for this feud. Yeah. I'm hoping this is over because I have no idea what's going on with this. Bray Wyatt needs to move on, and I don't know what their plans are for John Cena, but yeah.
Well, anyways, moving on to the Paige versus Alicia Fox match. For the Divas title, this was basically a typical Paige versus Alicia Fox match. Nothing really interesting happening in this match. Typical 5 to 10 minute Divas title match. Paige locks in the Scorpion Cross lock for the win, and Paige has a little bit of a little freak out, but she kind of composes herself. But anyways,
maybe this is the end of Alicia Fox's psycho freakouts and killing.
I hope so.
Ring people.
I hope so, but this didn't look as a pay-per-view quality match as I hoped it would have. So
surprisingly, for a Paige match, not getting too much love from the crowd because they started doing the Adam Rose. Whoa!
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, I'm hoping these Alicia freakouts are done because they're pretty lame and exaggerated and forced. But yeah, Paige for the win.
Moving on to the main event, Evolution against the Shield. Really looking forward to this match as well. Basically the main event of the night. It was actually a pretty entertaining match. A lot of good spots in this match, as my match technician Brandon's going to talk about. But I really like this match, and it was, as me and Phil called it, match of the night. It was match of the night.
Maybe for you.
You know what? For me, that was match of the night. But
what about Blue Tista?
Yeah, you rated Brie Bella's wardrobe tonight.
Yeah, that was definitely that was the number one trend last night. # Blue Tista. But anyways, into this match, Brandon, what did you get?
Orton did his vintage DDT to Dean Ambrose on the Minitron on the stage.
Yeah, that was insane. That was a pretty good spot.
Yeah, basically the beginning of the match was just them brawling for the most part. I'm just gonna skip to the good parts near the end. Seth Rollins then jumps off the Titantron and takes out everybody that was down there.
The chocolate drop, Phil.
Yeah, the chocolate drop.
By our boys at NL Storytime, but. Yep, that was a pretty interesting spot. They did it really well. It didn't look like anyone got hurt out of that. They pulled that spot off pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And then Blue Tista gets eliminated after Roman Reigns gives him the spear and basically bodybagging Batista again. Then Dean Ambrose hits his headlock driver onto Randy Orton on a steel chair to eliminate him.
That looked pretty good. They did that well. They did that pretty well too.
And then Triple H is the last man standing against all 3 members of Evolution. He tried to hit Roman Reigns with the sledgehammer, but Seth Rollins comes out of nowhere and hits a flying knee off the rope and then Roman Reigns gets the spear for the win.
Yep, Evolution finally buried. The Shield picks up the victory. We only had one of our buddies that picked Evolution for some reason. But we all picked the Shield. This was actually a really entertaining match. I don't think the war is over. I see them fighting in the future. Hopefully at Battleground we see Phil's prediction of a War Games match. Other than that, I love this match. I give this match a good 5 out of 5 stars.
Evolution just getting body bagged. They were 0-2 in their return.
I don't get this match. Like, did Evolution forget this was an elimination match? Because they had the Shield laid out. Like, I thought they were going to go 3-0 against the Shield, but it ended up being the other way around.
But you know what? As they were talking about the last couple of weeks, they wanted to make sure that don't show up on Raw ever again. They wanted to physically hurt them so they wouldn't come back. I think that's what they were trying to do, so they didn't eliminate them right away. But other than that, pretty good pay-per-view without the world title being defended. They did a good job boosting it up a little bit. But other than that, guys, leave us a comment down below on your review for Payback. Any thoughts you share. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and also follow us on Twitter at NoHoldsBarredWR. I'm your host, Kyle, co-host Phil, match technician Brandon.
Later.
That's it.